the rumor that refused to die. The Smith family has survived public scandals before, but this time, the internet is asking a darker question. Why do Jada Pinkett Smith, Will Smith, Diddy, Jennifer Lopez, and even Tupac keep showing up in the same conversation? For years, these names floated through Hollywood like separate storms. Will and Jada were the powerful couple who seemed unbreakable. Diddy was the hip-hop mogul surrounded by luxury, loyalty, and controversy. Jennifer Lopez was the superstar everyone watched. And Tupac remained the legend whose connection to Jada never stopped creating questions. But after renewed attention around Diddy's legal troubles and old stories resurfacing online, fans started digging through interviews, podcasts, and red table talk moments like detectives. Suddenly, clips that once looked random began feeling connected. A former bodyguard's old story about a tense celebrity party came back. Old comments about Will and Jada's unconventional marriage returned. Jada's emotional memories of Tupac started trending again. And the internet began asking whether the public only saw a polished version of a much messier story. To be clear, many of these claims remain rumors, opinions, or personal recollections. There is no confirmed proof that every viral theory is true, but that has not stopped millions of viewers from watching closely, because the timeline feels too strange to ignore. What makes this story powerful is not just the names involved. It is the way fame, love, loyalty, jealousy, image control, and hip-hop history all crash into one another. Behind the red carpets and interviews, there were private choices, public confessions, and years of silence. And now, people want answers. So tell us in the comments, where are you watching from right now? If you think this story is deeper than the headlines, press 1. If you think the internet is connecting dots that should stay separate, press 2. And make sure you subscribe, because this story is only getting more complicated. The party story that changed everything. The moment that pulled many viewers back into this story was an old claim about a private Hollywood party. According to former bodyguard Gene Deal, the situation allegedly involved Diddy, Jennifer Lopez, Will Smith, and Jada Pinkett Smith all being in the same room during a gathering connected to major A-list names. On the surface, it sounded like another celebrity night. Expensive location, powerful people, big reputations, and cameras nowhere in sight. But according to the story, Diddy became uncomfortable when he believed Will and Jada were getting too close to Jennifer Lopez. Gene Deal described Diddy as suddenly standing up, calling him over, and allegedly warning him to stay nearby because the situation could turn physical. That one story exploded because it carried the kind of tension fans rarely hear about directly. Will Smith was not just a movie star. He was one of the most beloved entertainers in America. Diddy was not just a rapper or producer. He was a power player in hip-hop. Jennifer Lopez was one of the most famous women in entertainment. Jada, meanwhile, had already become known as someone with deep roots in both Hollywood and hip-hop circles. The claim was never proven as a legal fact, and even when Diddy was later asked about it, he appeared to avoid giving a serious confirmation. But the internet did not need a courtroom-level answer to start debating. For fans, the image alone was explosive. Diddy feeling challenged, Will and Jada allegedly crossing a line, and Jennifer Lopez caught in the middle of a private moment that turned into public speculation years later. That is why the story matters. Not because every detail can be verified, but because it gave people a new lens. Suddenly, Will and Jada's marriage was not just unusual. It was being placed inside a much bigger network of fame, jealousy, and Hollywood secrets. Jada, Tupac, and the shadow over every relationship. Before Will Smith became the man most associated with Jada Pinkett Smith, there was Tupac Shakur. And even decades after his death, Tupac's name still follows nearly every major conversation about Jada's personal life. Jada has spoken many times about her bond with Tupac. They met before the peak of his legend, before the world turned him into an immortal symbol of pain, poetry, rebellion, and pressure. Their connection was emotional, complicated, and deeply rooted in their early lives. To many fans, Tupac was not just Jada's friend. He was the person who understood a side of her that Hollywood never could. That is why people still compare every relationship in her life to him. Whether fair or not, the public often looks at Will Smith and asks whether he was ever truly competing with a ghost. Will became the global superstar husband, the family man, the actor with blockbuster power. But Tupac became something else entirely, the unresolved chapter, the what if, the memory that fans never let disappear. In old interviews, Jada described visiting Tupac while he was incarcerated and hearing about major decisions he was preparing to make. She spoke about concern, loyalty, and the feeling that people around him were failing to protect him. Those details added emotional weight to their history, because Tupac was not just a celebrity to her. He was part of her origin story. This is where the Smith drama becomes more than gossip. It becomes a story about emotional history. When someone carries a bond that intense, even a marriage with another person can be interpreted through that past. Fans may never know the full truth of what Tupac meant inside Jada's private heart, but they know enough to keep asking. And every time Will and Jada reveal another difficult chapter, Tupac's shadow returns. The marriage that stopped looking traditional. For years, Will and Jada were treated like a symbol of Black Hollywood success. They looked wealthy, talented, powerful, and united. But over time, their own words changed the public image completely. The biggest shock came when Jada revealed that she and Will had been separated since 2016, even though the world continued seeing them as a married couple moving as one. That admission stunned fans, because it meant the public had been watching a relationship that was more complicated than it appeared. The red carpet smiles, the interviews, the family brand, all of it existed alongside a private reality most people never knew. Will also spoke openly about their unconventional approach to marriage. He suggested that love could not be built on control and that each person had to find happiness within themselves. For some fans, that sounded mature and honest. For others, it sounded like two people trying to rebrand heartbreak as philosophy. Then came the conversations about freedom, trust, and personal growth. Will made it clear that their marriage was not something he recommended for everyone. That line mattered, because it showed even he understood how unusual their path looked from the outside. The internet, however, does not always handle nuance well. Every comment became a headline. Every confession became a meme. Every complicated explanation turned into a new reason for strangers to judge their marriage. But beneath all the jokes, one truth remained. Will and Jada had stopped pretending to fit the standard celebrity marriage mold. They were telling the world that their relationship was built on private rules, emotional survival, and a refusal to quit even when things looked broken. That made people even more curious, because once a couple admits the rules are different, everyone wants to know how different those rules really are. The entanglement that became a cultural moment. No chapter in the Smith family saga hit the internet harder than the word entanglement. When August Alsina publicly discussed his relationship with Jada Pinkett Smith, the story became impossible to ignore. What could have stayed in the shadows turned into a worldwide conversation, especially after Will and Jada sat down together on Red Table Talk to address it. That table became the stage for one of the most uncomfortable celebrity conversations in recent memory. Will sat across from Jada, and fans watched his facial expressions like evidence. Jada explained that she had been in deep pain, and that the relationship happened during a difficult period between her and Will. She clarified that it was a relationship, while also framing it as part of a painful personal journey. The public reaction was immediate. Some people praised the honesty. Others felt the conversation was too private for public consumption. Many focused on Will, reading sadness, frustration, or restraint into every second of his face. The internet turned the moment into jokes, reaction videos, and endless debates. But underneath the viral energy was something heavier. This was not just about a celebrity couple admitting a private issue. It was about image collapse. For years, Will and Jada were viewed as almost untouchable. After that episode, they became human in a way that made some fans uncomfortable. The word entanglement became bigger than the actual story. It became slang, a punchline, and a symbol for complicated relationships that people do not want to fully explain. And once that word entered pop culture, every old rumor around the Smith marriage became louder. The Diddy stories, the Tupac conversations, the unconventional marriage comments, everything started getting pulled back into the same storm. Red Table Talk and the power of controlled confession. Red Table Talk was supposed to be a place for honest conversations, but it also became one of the most powerful image management tools in modern celebrity culture. At that table, Jada, her mother Adrienne Banfield Norris, and her daughter Willow discussed topics many families avoid completely. Relationships, emotional pain, family conflict, identity, mental health, unconventional love. Nothing seemed fully off limits. That openness made the show feel raw, but it also made people wonder where honesty ended and strategy began. For supporters, Red Table Talk gave celebrities and family members a safe space to speak without tabloid filters. It allowed emotional complexity. It let viewers see famous people admit confusion, mistakes, and vulnerability. For critics, though, the show sometimes felt like private pain being turned into public content. That tension became especially clear when Will and Jada used the platform to discuss the August Alsina situation. It was their table, their camera, their framing, and their chance to control the narrative before the internet controlled it for them. This is where the story becomes strategic. In the entertainment world, silence can look guilty, but speaking can create new problems. Will and Jada chose to speak. They chose transparency. But transparency did not save them from judgment. In some ways, it gave the public even more material. Still, the red table formula worked because people could not look away. Every episode felt like it might reveal something shocking. Every emotional pause felt meaningful. Every family disagreement felt like a window into a famous household that had spent decades protecting its image. And that is why the show remains central to this saga. It did not create every controversy, but it turned private complexity into public language. Willow, Jaden, and a family raised in public. One reason the Smith story keeps growing is because it does not stop with Will and Jada. Their children, Jaden and Willow, have also become part of the public conversation. Willow's comments about relationships sparked debate because she spoke openly about wanting freedom to build a relationship style that made sense for her. On Red Table Talk, she explained that she did not want to follow tradition only because society said she should. For some viewers, that sounded thoughtful and honest. For others, it became another reason to question the environment the Smith children grew up in. Jaden also became part of public debate after speaking about his experiences with psychedelics and family discussions around plant medicine. This topic is sensitive, and it is important to say clearly that these substances can be illegal or risky depending on the situation and location. The public conversation around them should never be treated as casual advice. But in the Smith family narrative, the topic became another example of how openly they discuss ideas many families keep private. Fans began asking whether the Smith children were simply independent thinkers, or whether growing up inside such a public, unconventional household shaped them in unusual ways. That question is not easy to answer, and outsiders should be careful about judging people they do not truly know. Still, the public sees patterns. Will and Jada speak about freedom. Willow speaks about relationship freedom. Jaden speaks about expanding consciousness and emotional discovery. The family brand becomes clear. They reject simple boxes. For some, that is inspiring. For others, it feels chaotic. But either way, it keeps viewers watching, because the Smith family is not just famous. They are constantly explaining themselves to a world that is constantly misunderstanding them. Diddy's name re-enters the conversation. As Diddy faced mounting public scrutiny and legal challenges, old stories connected to him began resurfacing across social media. That is when the Smith-related rumors gained new life. To be clear, there is no verified evidence proving that Diddy controlled or shaped Jada Pinkett Smith's personal life. Many viral claims online go far beyond what has been confirmed, but the reason his name keeps appearing is because he has long been connected to major figures in music, Hollywood, and celebrity nightlife. When a powerful person becomes the center of controversy, people naturally revisit every old connection. The alleged Jennifer Lopez party story became especially valuable to online commentators because it placed Diddy, J-Lo, Will, and Jada in the same dramatic scene. Even if the story remains a personal recollection rather than proven fact, it gave viewers a cinematic image, a private room full of stars, tension rising, and a possible confrontation waiting to happen. That is how celebrity rumors survive. They do not need to be fully confirmed to become part of public mythology. They only need enough recognizable names, enough emotional tension, and enough mystery. Diddy's larger controversies also changed how people looked at old Hollywood stories. Moments that once sounded like gossip now feel, to some viewers, like clue, but that can be dangerous, because not every connection means conspiracy. Fame creates overlapping circles. Powerful people attend the same parties, date within the same world, and hear the same rumors. Still, the timing matters. When Diddy's public image took a major hit, every old story involving him became louder. And when those stories touched Will and Jada, the internet found a new reason to reopen the entire Smith family archive. Why the internet cannot let this story go. The reason this story refuses to disappear is simple. It has every ingredient the internet feeds on. It has Hollywood royalty. It has hip-hop history. It has a marriage that does not follow normal rules. It has Tupac's emotional shadow. It has Diddy's controversial reputation. It has Jennifer Lopez attached to an alleged moment of tension. It has Red Table Talk confessions, viral clips, old interviews, and enough mystery to keep people guessing for years. But the deeper reason is emotional. People are fascinated when the perfect image cracks. Will Smith spent decades as one of the most likable stars in America. Jada built a reputation as fearless, spiritual, and brutally honest. Together, they created a family brand built on success, openness, and survival. So when the public began seeing pain behind the image, the reaction was intense. Some viewers felt betrayed, others felt validated. Some laughed, some defended them, some turned every moment into a conspiracy. But everyone kept watching. This is also a story about control. Celebrities want to control the narrative, but the internet wants to own it. Will and Jada tried to explain their marriage in their own words, but once those words became clips, memes, and commentary, the meaning changed. Diddy avoided certain questions, but silence created more curiosity. Jada honored Tupac's memory, but fans turned that memory into endless comparisons. In the end, the truth may be less dramatic than the theories. But the perception has already become its own reality, and that is why this story keeps coming back. It is not just about what happened, it is about what people believe might have happened behind the doors fame keeps locked. The lesson behind the headlines. The loudest stories in Hollywood are rarely just about one person. They're about power, image, loyalty, timing, and the dangerous space between what celebrities show the world and what they survive behind closed doors. When people look at Will Smith, Jada Pinkett Smith, Diddy, Jennifer Lopez, and Tupac in the same conversation, they are not just watching gossip. They are watching a complicated map of fame. Every name carries history. Every old interview becomes evidence. Every silence becomes suspicious. Every emotional confession becomes another reason for the public to choose sides. But the most important lesson is this: not every rumor deserves to become a verdict. The internet can connect dots quickly, but speed is not the same as truth. Some claims may come from real memories. Some may come from pain. Some may come from people chasing attention. And some may be shaped by the public's desire to believe that every famous family is hiding a secret bigger than the last one. Strategically, Will and Jada's biggest challenge has always been narrative control. They tried to turn private struggles into public honesty. But honesty can become dangerous when millions of strangers start editing your pain into entertainment. Diddy's challenge is different. Once a powerful figure becomes surrounded by controversy, every old story attached to their name gets re-examined. And for Tupac, even decades later, his legacy is so emotionally powerful that people still use his name to explain relationships he is no longer here to speak about. The humane lesson is simple. Fame does not protect people from confusion, jealousy, grief, or broken trust. It only makes those things louder. Before we judge anyone completely, we should remember that families are complicated, relationships are private, and rumors can damage real lives. So what do you think? Press 1 if you believe this story still has hidden chapters. Press 2 if you think the internet has taken it too far. Subscribe to the channel, like this video, and share it with someone who follows hip-hop and Hollywood drama, because the next story may reveal even more about how fame really works. The lesson behind the headlines. The loudest stories in Hollywood are rarely just about one person. They are about power, image, loyalty, timing, and the dangerous space between what celebrities show the world and what they survive behind closed doors. When people look at Will Smith, Jada Pinkett Smith, Diddy, Jennifer Lopez, and Tupac in the same conversation, they are not just watching gossip, they are watching a complicated map of fame. Every name carries history. Every old interview becomes evidence. Every silence becomes suspicious. Every emotional confession becomes another reason for the public to choose sides. But the most important lesson is this: not every rumor deserves to become a verdict. The internet can connect dots quickly, but speed is not the same as truth. Some claims may come from real memories. Some may come from pain. Some may come from people chasing attention. And some may be shaped by the public's desire to believe that every famous family is hiding a secret bigger than the last one. Strategically, Will and Jada's biggest challenge has always been narrative control. They tried to turn private struggles into public honesty, but honesty can become dangerous when millions of strangers start editing your pain into entertainment. Diddy's challenge is different. Once a powerful figure becomes surrounded by controversy, every old story attached to their name gets re-examined. And for Tupac, even decades later, his legacy is so emotionally powerful that people still use his name to explain relationships he is no longer here to speak about. The humane lesson is simple. Fame does not protect people from confusion, jealousy, grief, or broken trust. It only makes those things louder. Before we judge anyone completely, we should remember that families are complicated, relationships are private, and rumors can damage real lives. So what do you think? Press 1 if you believe this story still has hidden chapters. Press 2 if you think the internet has taken it too far. Subscribe to the channel, like this video, and share it with someone who follows hip-hop and Hollywood drama, because the next story may reveal even more about how fame really works.